Hello, ladies and gentlemen. David Irvin here, and I'm standing in an oak forest that was recently thinned. And while here, I thought this might be a good opportunity to talk a little bit about identification of different species of oak. Now, we have a number of types of oak here in Connecticut. But if you're in any of my forests, my natural forest in the Northwest Hills, it's going to be one of 5 species, most likely. It's going to be red oak, scarlet oak, black oak, chestnut oak, or white oak, one of those. Now, the oaks are divided into 2 groupings. They're called the red oak group and the white oak group. Now, the red oaks, such as these red oaks right here and these scarlet oaks, one way to distinguish them is that the tips of the lobes, that's all the little fingers here, we call them lobes, the tips have little points on them. And you may be able to see them on the camera. They're not sharp to the touch, but they're just points that stick out. And that's common for the red oak group. The white oak group has similar lobes, but notice how they're rounded and smooth edged. There's no point right at the tip of the lobe. That means you're in the white oak group. The white oak group includes white oak and chestnut oak. The red oak group includes red, scarlet, black, and pin oak, which you may find in some areas, out in wetland areas. So one difference when looking at the leaves, first of all, for red oak, notice that there's a certain depth for the sinuses, the areas between the lobes, the dips here, that don't go really very close to the midrib of the leaf. This is what a northern red oak leaf looks like. There's a lot of variability, of course, as there always is in nature, but this is northern red oak. Now, contrast the scarlet oak, a very close relative. Notice how deep the sinuses are. It's a very skinny leaf, and the sinuses go more than probably 2/3 to 3/4 of the way to the midrib of the leaf. So it's very deep. If you compare them side by side, much different. And that's scarlet oak when you see that. And then, of course, white oak is sort of like a northern red oak leaf, except it's rounded without those pointy tips we were talking about. Now, this is a scarlet oak right here, the tree closest to me. If you look at it, it's very similar to a red oak. It's got these sinuses of the bark, red striations, vertical striations in the bark. And if you look up a little higher, there's a lot of branching, including a lot of dead branches that come out nearly horizontal from the main bole of the tree. And it's kind of got a rough, scraggly look compared to a northern red oak, which is a little more symmetrical. Notice the skinny leaves with the deep sinuses. You can see that all the way up into the treetop, and that's scarlet oak. So it's very hard to describe the bark and a description of the tree itself. That's why I was focusing on the leaves while it's summer and we have leaves. Now over here is a white oak. White oak is our official state tree, also called the charter oak around here for historical reasons. This is a white oak. Notice the bark is, well, white. And in some cases, if you see an older white oak, a lot of times the bark will actually be sort of peeling and shedding in a similar way to shagbark hickory, although not quite maybe as extreme as shagbark hickory. But this is a white oak. If you want to contrast that with the scarlet oaks we've been showing you around here. So this is just a tidbit. I hope it helps identify some trees out there. And if you have any questions, let me know. Not every site is perfect. Not every site has an example of everything I would like to show you. But this is a start. Hope you enjoyed. Take care.